Chinese experts likened the ongoing military exercises in Australia to a paper tiger after top official of the US Navy warned that the drill aims to send a message to Beijing. Sazha Jasa tells us more.
As thousands of troops flock to Australia to join the exercise Talisman sabre, experts from China are skeptical whether the drills are powerful enough to convince participating countries to follow the United States in its every beck and call. A paper tiger. This was how China's global mouthpiece likened the ongoing military drills headed by the United States and Australia taking place in the Asia-Pacific waters. For Chinese experts, the drills, dubbed the largest show of force since it was founded in 2005, proved to be impressive on paper. However, they believe the exercise, which includes member countries from Europe, North America, and the Asia-Pacific, cannot persuade all its participants to serve the U.S. purpose. At an opening ceremony in Sydney's naval base last week, China's U.S. Navy Secretary Carlos del Toro described the water games as a way of sending a message to China that America's allies are cooperating to defend their security and democratic values. Meanwhile, an Australian senior military officer reported that a Chinese surveillance ship, believed to be positioned off the Queensland coast, attempted to collect sensitive information on the multinational exercise last week. But Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defence Richard Marles said he is not concerned about the alleged spy vessel's entry to the Coral Sea and pointed out there always seemed to be a Chinese ship watching the exercises since 2013. Local experts have slammed the so-called Western hype, stating it is unreasonable to exaggerate the legal presence of the Chinese ships, and noted how U.S. warships have also frequently trespassed into China's territorial waters. Chinese experts accused the U.S. of playing word games to maintain its global hegemony and reminded Australia to maintain its strategic independence to protect its national interests. The military exercise kicked off ahead of U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and U.S. Secretary of State Blinken's scheduled visit to Papua New Guinea and Australia this week. Reporting from Sydney, this has been Sazha Jasa, SMNI News, Australia.
America's Forest Service admitted that it started a monster wildfire that almost reached Los Alamos, New Mexico last year. The U.S. Forest Service has admitted that the Cerro Pelado fire, which burned over 60 square miles in Sandoval County, New Mexico in April of 2022, was caused by them. The said wildfire burned in dry, windy conditions and crept within a few miles of Los Alamos City. It came within a few miles of a national security laboratory in Los Alamos. Schools closed and evacuation bags were packed before the blaze was contained. Investigators found that the wildfire started from what it called an escaped prescribed burn, where piles were ignited earlier in February of 2022. But what is a prescribed fire? According to the National Park Service, prescribed fires are treatment for research benefits, or research which include lighting a fire in an area for various purposes after careful planning and under controlled conditions. Investigators said that the wildfire began with the burn of piles of forest debris commissioned by the Forest Service that became a holdover fire which smoldered under the snow, but without anyone realizing it for several months. The revelation of a monster wildfire that occurred in 2022 prompted New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham to slam the U.S. Forest Service, saying that she was outraged over the agency's negligence that caused the destruction. The U.S. federal government, meanwhile, has already acknowledged that it started the largest monstrous wildfire in state history, which burned more than 530 square miles or 1,373 square kilometers of the foothills of the Rocky Mountains of Santa Fe, New Mexico, which destroyed homes and livelihoods. China appointed its senior diplomat Wang Yi as a new foreign minister after removing Qin Gang. Carlo de la Peña files this report.
The government of China has removed Qin Gang as the foreign minister of the country, replacing him with his predecessor Wang Yi. According to Chinese media, the country's top legislature, the National People's Congress standing voted to appoint Wang Yi as foreign minister. According to Chinese media, Qin's removal as foreign minister of China is in line with the organic law of the National People's Congress, which came in effect in 2021. The announcement came following a month after Chin's last public appearance. Chin was made foreign minister in December. His last public appearance was when he held talks with the foreign ministers of Russia, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka in late June. Meanwhile, Wang Yi is currently attending the BRICS National Security Advisors meet in South Africa. Reporting, this has been Carlo de la Peña, SMNI News.